There's a nice tactile feel. It's not clicky, so it's not like those Bondwell laptops I did a video about a while back, but it definitely has a nice tactile feel. Full size, full travel keys, so definitely a vast difference from modern laptops. Only thing is the function keys are a little bit smaller, but that's okay. All the main keys are full size, including this very large enter and backspace keys. And the diskette drives are facing the front, which is another thing I really like compared to a lot of laptops, even from this thing's era, which were on the sides. This one, they're right up front, easy to see, easy to get to. Even has function key templates. The original owner used it for running Lotus Symphony, which was an integrated application suite similar to Microsoft Works. It has an embedded numeric keypad accessed using the function key, as well as these additional functions here. So for things like page up and page down, home and end, you need to use the function key. They do not get their own separate keys. And here's the display. You can see it's not a 4:3 aspect ratio. In fact, I think it's even wider than 16:9. So the aspect ratio of images on the screen is rather shrunken vertically. So for example, if you tell the software to draw a circle, it'll look like an oval. And it closes to protect the keyboard. Here's the original removable NiCad battery pack, which actually still holds somewhat of a charge. Here's the back of the machine. The only port that's normally accessible is for the power adapter. Everything else is hidden behind this door. And if you flip that up, you get your parallel printer port, RGB monitor port for a CGA or EGA monitor, composite video output, so you can connect it to a TV or a composite monitor, and it does do composite color, although the artifact colors are not the same as with an original IBM CGA card. 9-pin serial port, external floppy disk drive port, and external keyboard port, as well as a slot for the optional modem and some other kind of expansion knockout plug here.
Can't believe I even still have this thing. I'm probably going to have to go on eBay to find parts for it or whatever. So this is keyed a certain way, and you can only plug that in one way there. There I get a light right away on that brick. It says power and a charge light. Now here's the power button. So you can see I get a battery light, I get some lights there. Let's just listen to this. There you can hear it clicking. Now I thought that was a bad hard drive, but I don't think that is a bad hard drive. I think it's just what this thing does booting up, I'm not sure. But you can see it's gone through a memory check or whatever it's doing there. Honestly, it's pretty amazing that this thing even still works, but I'm going to hit escape so we can go into the BIOS. That's about the only thing that it'll do is load into setup at this point. So let's just take a look at that. I wanted to show you guys that. See that? It doesn't recognize any of the hard drive, which would be hard to see. So that's just a quick shot, guys, of the BIOS. Stay tuned maybe for a video later on. I don't know when, but I'm going to try and possibly install Windows 95 on this thing, just for fun. So
the Bell & Howell Apple II Plus, also known as the Darth Vader Apple II, and for obvious reasons. This was a special version of the Apple II Plus that was sold exclusively by Bell & Howell under license from Apple. Now this thing has some serious presence. I mean, it's just awesome looking, and the black design was very rare for that time. You can see where Bell & Howell updated the badge. It would normally say Apple II Plus right there. And of course, everything is coated in black, including the keyboard. Now besides just the cosmetic changes, there actually were some new features with this case. Let me go ahead and show you some of those. So right here on the side, we now have an external connector for two paddles or joysticks. Now you might think that's pretty standard, but normally there would only be one connector, and you'd have to access the motherboard to connect your joystick to it. So on the back of the machine is what's called a backpack, and basically if I look on the left here, we have updated AV controls, so audio mixer controls. You can adjust the volume of the internal speaker too, which is something Apple actually wouldn't do for quite a while for the Apple II models. You also had 2 BNC video connectors for video output, so you could actually broadcast your video to 2 different monitors simultaneously. And you can see there's ports for headphones, speaker out, and cassette. And then over here, basically they just added 3 power jacks, and you can turn the power on separately for those versus the computer. You also have a handle in the middle for carrying this thing around. Now, the reason that a special case had to be made was because certain educational institutions could only use computers that were UL certified, and because the Apple II could run with the case open, it was not UL compliant.
What's interesting about this particular model is that it's a Canadian model. This was it's not. It's. I don't think it's really that much different from a regular Packard Bell from America. The only difference is that on the back sticker there, I don't know if you can see it. It says CAN next to D132. That just means it was sold in Canada. I'm sure the American Multimedia D132 is pretty much the exact same thing. So, again, what makes this interesting is that it's a Packard Bell corner desktop. Packard Bell did not really make many of these. That's why they're so hard to find, obviously. There is one for sale on eBay right now. It's I think a 1997 model. I think it's going for like $300 at the moment, but I've seen them go for a lot more than that, though. On the rare event they do pop up on eBay. And what makes the corner desktop interesting as well, it's kind of shaped like a triangle. I don't know if you can tell or not, but yeah, it is kind of shaped like a triangle. It's designed to fit in like a wall corner, such as this. And it's also kind of designed to fit on a corner style desk. And not only that, it's just really cool looking.
buy this in a thrift store, is a laptop typewriter, battery powered. You flip up the thing here, and you put your paper in, and it's battery powered. You can also use an AC adapter, but it has 4 C batteries in it. You flip it on. They give you a little LCD. It has a short memory for typing in text. Basically, once you type in enough letters to fill up that display, then it starts printing out what you type. So as long as what you type is still on the screen, you can backspace and correct it. But once it scrolls off the screen and prints out, there's no erase on this. It uses a thermal ribbon. You can also take this out and just use fax paper, then you don't need the ribbon. But it's pretty neat. It works well. A little slow. Now it's starting to type. Only disadvantage of this is that it's not an impact writing, so if you're doing multi-part forms like carbon paper, it's not going to type through to the form underneath like a normal typewriter. And they give you a little demo. If you hold down code while turning it on, as you can see, it doesn't print all that fast, but it keeps up with the memory when you're typing, so you can type into it pretty fast and it'll just catch up to you as it goes along.